My Aunt Kathy's friend Eileen from Ireland suggested this a long time ago. So I'm going to do my Belizean yeast bun or Creole bun, 1 loaf, but I'm going to put fruits in it, fruits that's left over from the Christmas stuff, okay? So take a look at what I have here. I put everything in the bowl already for you guys because this is going to go pretty quick. I have flour, baking powder, cinnamon, butter, sugar. And I'm going to put a graphic to tell you guys how much of everything that's in there. I have the yeast here. You're going to see that in the on the list too when I put the graphic. I've got some warm water. I've got some coconut milk. This is only 3.5 ounces of coconut milk. And here's the fruit. This is this big old jar. I'm going to start off with a cup. We might need more. All right, let's begin. Take a look. I'm going to put my vanilla extract, and again, you guys freeze the frame on that graphic to know what it is, okay? Let me go ahead and put my fruits in first. And I didn't flour them or anything like we did with the fruit cake because I'm just going to work it around like this. So it's getting flour on it right now. I think that's enough. I really and truly think that the 1 cup of fruits will be enough. You don't want to get a fruit in every bite. You want to have more fruit than bun. This is the yeast. Make sure that I've allowed to rise. And of course, you can always use rapid rise. You can always use rapid rise yeast. Yeah, rapid rise when you don't have to activate it, okay? The active dry one is that one that you have to activate. So then the next thing is going to be our important coconut milk. And by the way, guys, Joe did this coconut milk from scratch for me today because I'm making some Creole bread for somebody. So he made the milk from scratch. And take a look, it's already getting wet. So all you guys have to do is be very careful when you're doing dough because you don't want to get it over wet, then you have to add flour because that's what make your bread come out stiff. So add a little bit of water. And all I'm pretty much going to do is work this into a dough. When I come back, we'll be kneading it out on the counter. I want to show you guys, I learned this from David from the One Pot Chef show. It says to keep your book safe from spills, put it in a Ziploc bag while you're using it. We're so dumb we couldn't figure that out, huh? So take a look here. See, my dough is really sticky. And I still have dry areas here, but I don't want to add any more water because this is sticky so we can get this working. All right? So that's the main thing that you need to know when you're doing dough. You know, just don't rush it. If I could give one good advice about making dough, is don't rush it. I'm really good at dough. I've always been good at dough. But my mom, she's better at puddings. She's always been good at candy making and puddings. So everybody has their own anointing, right? So let's get this on the counter. Take a look. And as you guys can see, we have a lot of, I think we almost put enough fruits, put too much rather, in here. So, and if I need to put a little bit of flour on my hands, I will. And this, all we're doing is kneading it. You know, my mom says when she goes back to Belize again, she's going to bring me one of those old school kneading bowls that they used to knead the bread in. Some kind of a wooden type bowl. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of flour, so let me get some of that. So this is all you need to do when it's a little bit too sticky. Just get a little bit of flour on the counter and knead it. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in a bowl and put it in a dark area for like, it won't take a whole hour, but up to an hour. And then we're going to come back, we're going to re-knead and then make it off as a loaf for the bun. And by the way, we're going to use a glaze on the top of this, which we use a glaze on top of our Belizean Creole bun, but it's just sugar and water or some honey and water. This time we're going to use icing sugar type glaze to put on the top. So I'm totally doing this the way Eileen suggested. And this is special for you, Eileen, okay? So this is 1 hour later. See, it's risen. It's nice. Let's get it out of here. And what do? You punch it like it owes you money. You know what? You don't really have to punch it. I see a lot of people do that. You don't really have to punch it. Just re-knead, okay? I got a little bit of flour here. It's not really all that sticky, but it's still good to work in with the flour. You know what, guys? I think this is going to have a lot of fruits. And of course, you can just go ahead and shape it. If that's what you want to do, go and shape it like a loaf. Or you could do what I do and just roll it out into the shape of a rectangle with the rolling pin. It looks pretty, doesn't it? So just roll it as best as you can. So that's going to be the top part that I just flipped over, okay? Best as you can into a rectangle. I know this is not looking anything like a rectangle, but it will in a little bit. Give me a moment. See my little rectangle? And then you just start rolling it like you would a towel. And whatever fruits are left on the counter, leave them there, okay? Because there's too many fruits. It's gorgeous though. I must admit, it is pretty. And so I have a greased loaf pan. And you want to tuck everything in when you're rolling it like this, okay? Move this out of the way so you can see. So I have a greased loaf pan. And I'm going to go ahead and pop it in there. And allow this to rise for another hour. Then we're going to bake it on 325 degrees Fahrenheit for, I'd say about 40 minutes. We're going to check. So I'll be back after it's risen in an hour, okay? So it's an hour later, and my little fruit bun has risen nicely. So I'm going to stick it in the oven, 325, and I'll let you know how long it goes for. So it's fresh from the oven. It took 50 minutes, and see? Wait, let me hold it. When you hear that sound, you know it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and let it cool down. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to put this glaze on top. I'm going to brush it on with a barbecue brush. And this is 2 tablespoons of icing sugar and 1 tablespoon of milk. I made it really thin because I just want it to be a thin glaze on the top. And then when it's completely cooled, I'm going to come back and taste. Alright guys, so here it is. I cooked it for 50 minutes and then I let it cool down for an hour before I cut it. Look at the beautiful slices. There was a little mouse in here that took a little piece out already. The little mousey was me. So let me taste it for you guys and tell you. I already tasted it, so I already know what I feel like. First of all, I thought that the glaze with the powdered sugar would be a bit too much for this bun because we're used to it with like honey or sugar and water. But it's not too much, okay, because I made it really thin. And if you like fruits, like in the fruit cake, you're going to absolutely love this. The fruits are scattered so beautifully in the bread. And of course, the bread tastes good because it's our Belizean Creole bun, of course. I'm kind of biased. And I'll tell you, it's definitely different. We normally do it with raisins. And now that Eileen has given me this idea to use these fruits, I would definitely try other things in it, like maybe prunes or dates or other stuff like that. But this is pretty good. I think if you guys make this, you'll absolutely love it. So, there we go. We have our, what am I going to call it? Fruit bun? I'm going to call it fruit bun. Anyways, you guys are going to like it, okay? Thanks so much for watching the show. If you liked the video, hit like below. Please share it for me. Thank you so much for everything that you do to support me. And thank you especially for picking up my book. Until I see you guys again, take care. Don't forget to stop by my vlog. Right here on YouTube, it's called Babs Bear Talk. Please be sure to stop by my review channel right here on YouTube. It's called Bear Panty Talk.